side lateral raise is an awesome shoulder exercise for runners. When we're running, you don't necessarily think about using your upper body, but we do use our shoulders quite a bit. If you think about anytime we're running for long periods of time, you're doing this over and over and over again. And the faster you run and the longer you run, the more fatigued those shoulders are gonna get. What that usually leads to is poor running form, slouched forwards, and we're kind of compressing our chest. We're not able to breathe as efficiently. We're not able to move as well when we're running. So side lateral raises are a great way to strengthen up the outsides of our shoulders and just make sure we've got a really strong shoulder girdle for when we're running. Let's take a look at how we do it. There isn't much to do in terms of setup for a side lateral raise. All you need is a dumbbell or something heavy that you can hold in each side. And then from there, what you're gonna need is some space on the side so that as your arms go all the way out, you're not gonna be hitting in anything or kind of needing to maneuver around anything. So you just need a bit of space to your sides and 1 or 2 dumbbells. To do a side lateral raise, you're gonna hold the dumbbells down at your side and you're gonna use a neutral grip. So your palms are gonna be facing in towards your hip. From here, all you need to do is stand nice and tall. You wanna have your shoulders down and back. If you look from the side, I don't wanna be hunched forward or I don't wanna be leaning super far back. Nice neutral, kind of good posture standing from the side. And again, palms are facing in towards your hips. From here, you're gonna raise with straight elbows. You're raising that dumbbell all the way up until it's about parallel with your shoulders. So you're going up into a T position. So from here, I'm lifting all the way up to that T position, and then I'm slowly lowering back down. One of the keys here is you don't want to use momentum with this lift. You don't want to just be swinging up and letting it fall down. You want to come up, pause for a split second, and then slowly control that lowering on the way down. That's what's really effective about this exercise, is we're making sure that we control the weight through the whole entire range of motion. To adjust your difficulty on the side lateral raise, you're gonna wanna go by fairly small increments, generally 2.5 pounds per side, depending on how much adjustability you have with the weights that you're gonna be using. It's a fairly small muscle group that they're working, so you're not gonna be able to do large jumps up in weight like if you were doing kind of a more compound full body exercise. There's a couple of modifications that you can do with this exercise. The first one is if you're having a little bit of trouble with the form or with kind of focusing or concentrating, you can make it a little bit simpler by just doing one side at a time. So instead of doing both, you're just gonna hold one dumbbell on the side and you're gonna come straight up and then practice lowering down. This is also kind of good for core, making sure that you're kind of staying nice and straight. You're not just tipping to the side when you've got that weight on one hand. The other thing you can do if you find that's a little bit tricky is you can actually hold onto something like a squat rack or put your hand up against a wall. Same thing, you can stand from there nice and straight and you're gonna come straight up to the side and slowly control that lowering down on the side. The final thing that you can do is if you find it's a little bit too tricky, keeping that arm straight as you go out, you can bend your elbow and that's gonna make things a little bit easier. So if you bend to here, same thing, you can come out to the side or you can bend this way and come up to the side that way. Essentially, you're shortening that lever arm. It makes the weight a little bit easier for you to move. If you don't have access to a set of dumbbells, there are a couple of alternatives that you can do. If you're at a gym, you can use one of the cable machines with the stack of weights and the cable and a handle. That works great. The other alternative is you can use a band like this. You can either stand on the band in the center. If you've got a band that's long enough, you can do both sides at the same time. This one that I've got, it's a little bit too short for that. So what I can do is I can just stand on that band, kind of on the one handle on the ground, and I've got one hand free here, and I can come up and do the exact same thing with the band. Again, with the band, it's a little bit tricky to modulate exactly how much weight you're lifting. It can be tricky to kind of increase and know how much you're going up by. So dumbbells, a set amount of weight is a little bit easier to manage. However, if you're in a pinch, a band is a great option for this exercise.